What's up, guys? Keisha Nuchia here, back at you with another part to an Ocean Universe What If. Now, yesterday I couldn't really do another video because it was so much loud noise. So this time, I'm gonna try to do two videos today, and this one will be, well, this this part will be What If Deku was the only male in My Hero Academia, part two, because clearly y'all got that up to 190 something or 40 something. I wasn't really looking at the likes, but y'all got that up to 300 likes, and that's pretty crazy. Now, now I'm knowing that my children and my children, my people, and my fans, and my weirdos, and all the people who watch my videos, y'all like my shit, and y'all like to see what I'm cooking in the kitchen. And y'all like to eat up my food. And I gotta say, goddamn. But other than that, I'm truly thankful for y'all guys doing this for me and always supporting me. But this time, it will be a part two to this of What If Deku was the only male in My Hero Academia, and y'all will get the 18x extra detail. 18. So I might as well tell y'all what is 18x mean and 18 plus. So the 18 plus is just the little details in the middle, and 18x is detail, detail, detail. Nothing's holding back. Everything is going down to Nick and Cranny. So when you see an 18x, guys, that means, oh shit, he's going to get into detail. So there's no holding back. And 18 plus is, oh, he's going to go into little detail. So, okay, he's not going to go into Nick and Cranny. So if you see 18 plus, that's the little details. 18x, more detail. So this will be another 18x for y'all guys. And we're going to get to it. Yeah, where we pretty much last left off, pretty much Deku have went to the forest. Well, pretty much went to the forest and was training there until he met female Shigaraki. As they was mean to each other, they was talking to each other and stuff, and they pretty much, you could say, slept with each other. Now, female Shigaraki pretty much left a note, which Deku read and pretty much got up and pretty much went home and got dressed and went to the UA exam. Now, Deku pretty much after his training at the forest pretty much looks much different. He has longer hair. He has antler hair. He has antler ones, and he's pretty much you could say have a more physical physique body. Now, for the entrance exam, he passed everything, including the robot exam, pretty much saving Uraraka in the process, and pretty much heading home. Now, he pretty much took Bakugo's virginity because she wants him to be her first, and Deku pretty much did that and woke up and got a acceptance letter to go to UA. Now, let's get to the new parts, you could say. After Deku getting a note and seeing that he got accepted in the UAI, he's pretty much excited, saying he can't believe he actually did it with his own power. Now, he's heading back upstairs in his room. This is where Inko uh, asks, tells Deku the next time not to be so loud, which Deku was blushing and saying, sorry, mom, which she pretty much wants to say it's okay. And he pretty much goes back upstairs. Now, as he's going back upstairs, he's pretty much getting back into bed, and Bakugo pretty much grabs him and brings him close to her and she says, good morning, Knucklehead, which Deku says good morning to her too, smiling. Now, she's pretty much talking to him and stuff and having a conversation, and she pretty much forgets that it's the letter day, and she's asking that did she get her, she needs to go get her letter, which Deku says, oh, he already got her letter, and open up his window, and the bird has her letter and gives it to him, which he thanks the bird. Now, she pretty much got accepted, and Deku got accepted, and she's pretty much excited that they're both going into Class 1A. Now, as they're pretty much talking about what Class 1A is going to be like, Deku pretty much says he has to pretty much cook some breakfast because he regularly likes to practice his skill of cooking breakfast and stuff, and he'd be back, which he goes and cooks some breakfast while Female Bakugo, she gets dressed, or you could say put on one of his shirts. Now, as she's putting on one of his shirts, she pretty much goes downstairs and sit on the couch, pretty much waiting for Deku to be done cooking, while Inkyun comes downstairs and tells Deku that she's going to be Well, he's going. Pretty much, she's telling Deku that she's going to be going to somewhere. She's going to be going to somewhere very important, going to the science facility. So to get some work done. So she won't be at home for a while. Which this is where Bakugo, she's pretty much hiding. Which Inko says that she can know that she's on the couch and it's okay. Which Bakugo, she begins to steam. Which Inko begins to start laughing and says that these y'all kids better take care. And she gets going. This is where Deku begins to start laughing a little bit, but he's pretty much done with breakfast and then sits on the couch with her and they begin to eat the breakfast. Now, they're pretty much watching TV and they finish their meal and get dressed and start heading to the UA together. Now, as they're heading, they're pretty much talking and stuff. And Bakugo, she begins to look down and, have a sad face, which Deku asks, "What's with the sad face?" Which this is where she says that she just thinking of the time what happened with with the whole not controlling her quirk. Which this is where Deku says you should not be worried about that. That was in the past. The past is the past. Don't let the past hunt you. Which she smiles and says, "Yeah." Now this is where they head into the classroom and stuff, and they take their seats and Pacific seats and stuff. Which this is where Deku sits by the window because he likes the sun and stuff. He sits by the window and all that. And also, Bucko takes her seat and, does the whole same thing. Now, this is where Eon, she comes in and she begins to start yelling and say that yelling at Bucko saying that she can't really put her feet on the desk, which she says she can do whatever the hell she wants. Which this is where Deku is just laughing and smiling a little bit. Which this is where, of course, she looks at Deku and she begins to, blush and look away. Which Deku sees it in a keen eye and begins to smile. Now, of course, this is where all the rest of the students are coming in, and they're all females. Invisible Girl comes in, which she sees Deku, and she says, "Oh wow, so you're the boy." Which this is where, of course, all the girls are like all coming in, introducing themselves, but also they're all clinging on to Deku, talking to him, trying to know like what's his favorite food, what's his color and stuff, and all that. Which Deku is answering them all quietly. Now this is where the teacher gets up and it's female Razorhead. Now she's pretty now she's pretty much saying, "Why are you so loud?" And she looks in, she sees the whole class. Now this is where she sees Deku and she says, "Oh, so this is the boy, the only boy." Okay. Now this is where she's uh talking to everybody and saying, "All right, everybody, get their gym uniform because I'm gonna test out y'all quirks and see if y'all worthy to be in class 1A." Now everybody's freak everybody's pretty much freaking out except for Deku because he has a kind of calm state personality as a he's in a calm state as he's perfectly calm and he's never in like a rush or like scared or anything. He's always in a calm state. Except for sex, he's a different animal. But other than that, yeah, he's in a calm state. Now, of course, this is where Deku is, looking at Razorhead and pretty much calm, smiling, which she begins to a little bit blush. Now, this is where Edon, she says, "Oh, you can't really do that," which Razorhead smiles and says, I kicked out a whole class before for not being ready, for not being worthy to be in this classroom," which everybody be shocked except for Deku. He's pretty much saying, "Huh, interesting." Now, this is where everybody goes in the gym, in the locker room and begins to start changing. Now, there's no boys' locker room. I tell you this specifically because, like I said, if you watch part one, the world was only with women and girls and only little girls. So as they grew, they only had girls' bathrooms and stuff. There was never a boy. So since a boy finally came out, since the first boy ever came out, there's no really girls around the world. So there's only girls' bathroom, girls' showers and stuff. So Deku was the only boy. but he still has to go change with the girls because you know he did it before. So other than that, let's go. Pretty much Deku was changing with the girls and stuff, and he's pretty much getting changed and stuff. And Bakugo, she's pretty much you know trying not to look, and all the girls are trying not to look and stuff, but they and Deku, he has no shame of showing his body parts or anything because his mom always gave him that proud statement saying never be ashamed of your body and stuff, if what it looks like. So, as all the girls are trying to look away, they pretty much, could say turning around and seeing Deku changing. They could see his penis and ass, and also see him changing and see his ass and Rick body, which they're all blushing and looking away. Now Deku gets dressed and all the girls are getting dressed too, including Mineta. Mineta is she's a female, so Mineta she's more pervy than more pervy, and she had been reading, she had been watching those secret boy videos of girls and stuff, and she's pervy. So as Deku's headed out first, and pretty much all dressed and stuff, and first, Mineta pretty much goes up to we're gonna say Floppy, and he pretty much says, "Did you see those apps? Oh my god, I can't wait to have a taste of those apples." Which, of course, Fluffy says, "Ew, pervert." Which she says, "Ew, pervert." Which, okay, I'm sorry. Let me control my laugh. But yes, that's what Minerva pretty much says. If she was a girl, it says, "Let me get a taste of those apples." Now, of course, this is where, as everybody's coming out and stuff, Deku is pretty much ready and all prepared. But Razorhead is looking at all the girls, including Deku, because Razorhead is checking out Deku because she haven't really seen the guy for a while. So she haven't seen a girl. Well, she haven't really seen the guy. She doesn't know what a guy looks like or what they're supposed to be. So yeah, she's just as curious. Now, for all the tests, Deku pretty much passes with ease because, like I said, his body been, you could say, mutating with animals, and he has DNA of all animals. You could say so. Bird. So if you're saying like, oh, can he like spout runes and do all that, and what is his nature thing? So his because many people was asking, what abilities does he have? Does he have nature chakra? Does he like what he has? Now I'm gonna tell y'all right now what he has. So y'all can pay attention, write this down, take notes, kids, because I'm not gonna say this again. And I'm probably gonna forget this because I'm like Miyazaki sometimes. I forget things. Alright? Now, pretty much his nature, he has no nature chakra, but he has nature as nature life. Now that could be any type of nature, as for like wildlife nature, green life like green life nature, winter nature, like Arctic nature. It has all different types of nature. Now he has all natures, as he can make life come to life. He can bring dead things back to life, including humans. He can sprout trees and stuff. He can heal wounds, especially. He can cure things. He can cure all types of diseases, yes, including herpes. So he can't get it, but he can give some. He can pretty much cure someone from it, and he can't get it. He can also uh heal things. Well, I already said that, but he can also like create trees and stuff and all that. Create mountains, earth, and turn things into molten lava. Because, like I said, he has all natures, but he also have Martin lava. He can also make lava. So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now he can also communicate with animals, communicate with sea animals because they're also nature animals too, ocean life. He can gain their abilities, or you could say their abilities or strengths. As for like a gorilla, master strength, he can have very unique skills of climbing trees. He can run on water, like a lizard that can run on water. He can run on water without delay. He can swim fast, swim incredibly fast. He has sharp teeth, sharp claws, like all animals, and he can fly if he spread out. If he wants to have wings, he can sprout wings, and he has echolocation. He basically has all the animal stuff. Now, I know what you're asking. I know what that extra question you're asking. Oh, does he have like hard skin like a lizard or like a rhino and stuff? Yes. All right. He has that ability too. He can harden his skin like a rhino and stuff. And clearly, if he runs and think of it as the rhino skin too, pretty hard. Now, I can also tell you this: if he runs into you and body you, just think of it as the rhino, and you're pretty much gonna have to pray to Saint Jesus, pretty much that. But other than that, that's all the abilities for now. He has more, but those are abilities you just need to know right now. Now Deku pretty much is past everything, real quick ease and stuff, and all the girls are impressed, including Bakugo. She's definitely impressed. Now this is where, of course, everybody. This is where Razorhead is about to see on the list, and he lets everybody pass because everybody proved their worth, and including Mineta. Shocking, right? But Mineta is not like a short midget girl. She's a little bit taller, a little bit taller, tiny bit taller, a little bit extra height. But yeah, she passed too. Now everybody's in the classroom, pretty much, talking and stuff and all that. This is where, of course, Deku is just waiting, and this is where All Might, female All Might, runs in. Whew, sorry. This is where female All Might runs in, and she's pretty much saying, "I am here." Now everybody's excited, saying, "Oh my God, it's All Might!" Except for Deku. Deku is, like I said, is in a cool, chill vibing. So he's like, "Oh hey, All Might," pretty much all cool. Which All Might's blushing a little bit. It says, "Hey." Now, this is where she begins to explains the whole you could say bell test. Not the bell test. Sorry, not the bell test. My bad. My bad. Goofy me. But pretty much the hero versus villain test and explaining what they have to do and stuff. Now, she's pretty much, all the teams are saying, now this is going to be, now the heroes is still going to be the same as, as Bakugo and Ino are going to be together as the villains, and Deku and Uraraka is going to be the heroes. Now, Deku's pretty much, has his whole hero costume, and his hero costume is going to be, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same, but instead of having the bunny ears and stuff, he's just gonna have the mask. He's just gonna have a mask that can cover up his face, and he's gonna have the antlers. So his hero costume is gonna be the same, except for being green, it's gonna be blue and white, and he's gonna have antlers. Now, as he's going, as he's pretty much getting ready, he's pretty much walking with Rocket. Oh, Rocket, she's pretty much thanking him, saying that she never got the chance to thank him for healing up her leg and stuff. Which Deku says, "Oh, it's no problem." And she pretty much looked down and stuff, and she's about to ask the question, if he got a girlfriend or anything. Which this is where, of course, All Might says, "Is everybody ready? Get ready to get to the building." Which Deku says, "We better get going." Now, as Deku, as Deku pretty much is going in the building, he used echolocation. He used bat echolocation to sense things, or we're gonna say echolocation, and he sensed where Bakugo at, and she's coming in fast, which he noticed. This is where he picks up Raku by the side, and she's pretty much blushing and saying, what is he doing?" Which he pretty much lifts her up, jumps up, and lifts her up into the second window, and he tells her to go get the bomb while he stayed down here for Bakugo so he can fight with Bakugo, which she says okay. Now, as he's going in the building, this is where, of course, female Bakugo comes in with 1,000 explosions, sending out explosions at Deku. Now, this is where Deku uh, backs up, and he's pretty much backs up, and his shirt is pretty much ripped apart already, and he begins to rip off his shirt, saying, "Well, ripped that hero costume, and he pretty much shows his muscles and stuff, and pretty much takes off his mask, saying, "So, shall we fight then?" This is where female Bakugo is blushing a little bit, but she pretty much says, "Yeah," and they charge at each other. Now, this is where, of course, Deku is dodging Bakugo's hits and stuff, and all her punches. Which this is where Deku grabs Bakugo's armor and pretty much slams her to the wall. Oh yeah, this is the 18X part of Chris Brown part. So if you can't handle the Chris Brown fighting parts, I recommend getting out the kitchen, getting the fuck out the kitchen because shit's about to get pricey. Now, pretty much, uh, Deku takes Bakugo, female Bakugo, slams her to the wall. Now, she pretty much, you know, gets out the wall and kicks Deku in the face, pretty much punching him in the face 2 times. Which this is where Deku grabs her arm and headbutt her and sends her pretty much flying. Now he's pretty much saying, "Damn, that hurts," which she's pretty much saying, "Is that you? That's all you got? Spitting out blood." Now this is where she does a leap. She does a slide kicks, kicking down Deku and making him fall to the ground. Now of course she leads up with a connect punch, which Deku pretty much dodges and kick her down. Now Deku's pretty much backing up, pretty much saying, "Huh, you ready for round two?" Which she says, "Yeah." Now we're gonna switch to Uraraka. Now Uraraka, she's pretty much running and she sees the bomb. And before Edon could touch her, she pretty much touched the bomb and heroes win. Now, that was a good match and stuff, With Chewbacca, she's pretty much pissed and saying, "How the hell?" Which Deku said, "Ha, she did it just in time." Now, as they're all getting into class and stuff and, eating lunch and all that stuff, this is where Edon, of course, asks to talk to Deku quietly. Now, this is where Edon was trying to find some dirty stuff about Deku to see what to use to blackmail him, right, into sex, because she knows she doesn't have a chance. She feels like she doesn't have a chance with Deku. Now, this is where she shows the video of Deku pretty much doing the principal, and he's pretty much saying, "Huh, how did you get that?" Which she's pretty much saying, "None of your business. But I want one thing from you," which Deku says, and that is money. What she says, sex. Oh, you want sex? Which this is where she says, this is where he says, "Oh, so you want sex?" Which she says, "Yeah." Now, this is where Deku says, "Okay, well, if you want to have sex, meet me in this nurse room. Meet me in the nurse room. Because if you're gonna act for sex, I might as well choose what place," which she pretty much says, "Okay." Now, we're gonna say Deku kind of goes in the nurse room. Pretty much not telling anyone where he's at, except for Mineta. She says she's going to the nurse room. And she pretty much meet Deku there. Now, Mineta's looking for Deku, and she's pretty much trying to figure out where is he at until he grabs her and lays her on the bed. Now, this is the 18X part. 18X part, alright? And I give you this pretty much almost last warning. If you can't handle it, please get the fuck out the kitchen. Because shit's about to get spicy, alright? Now, pretty much, this is where Deku pretty much starts taking off Mineta clothes, which she's pretty much saying, wait, which Deku begins to say, "Oh, calm down," and begins to kiss her, which Mineta is kind of going crazy, saying this is her first time ever getting kissed, which she's talking in her head. Now, Deku begins to undress Mineta, and he begins to suck on her. You could say her little, we're gonna say C-cup boobs, and she begins to start moaning and stuff, which Deku says, can't be too loud. Which he begins to go down to her panties and begins to finger her. Now, Mineta begins to moan and stuff, which Deku is covering up her mouth and stuff. And she pretty much going crazy and stuff. And Deku pretty much says, "Look like you're completely wet. You ready for this?" You ready for the next part? Which this is where, of course, she begins to say there's no going back now, and Deku begins to take off take off his pants and he reveals his, we're gonna say 7 inch, 7 inch to say, we could say. No, this is where he begins to st- stick his penis in Manetta's vagina. Now he's pretty much going in, pretty much going in and out, and Manetta's pretty much saying, pretty much is moaning "eat harder" stuff, which Deku is pretty much saying, "God damn, this is a little bit tight. This is a little bit tight," he says. Now, of course, as he's going in and out, he pretty much says he's about to nut, and he pretty much done nut in the sauce in there. Now, as he nut in there, he pretty much uh what leaves her there, pretty much cover her up, pretty much saying, "Well, you got what you want, see you," and begins to head back to class. Now, as he's going back to class, this is where Bakugo asks, "Where was he?" Which Deku says, "Oh, he was he went to look around the school a little bit more," which that's a lie. But she says, "Okay." Now, as that happened, this is where everybody start going home. Which this is where Deku goes home and gets a good rest, sleep, and everybody else goes to sleep. Now, next day, this is where everybody is in class and stuff, and Mineta start looking at Deku and looks away again because what happened the last time. Everybody start asking Mineta, like, do she have a liking to him? Like, why do you keep looking at him? Which she says, "Oh, it's nothing." Which Uraraka is curious too because she was about to ask him out on a date or whatever. Now, this is where Razorhead, female Razorhead, begins to look, pretty much begins to look at the class and begins to say that they're going to be going on a trip to test their hero work, their heroism and stuff, and see what they can do. Which everybody's excited, including Deku, but he's in a cool vibe. Now everybody's on the bus, pretty much chilling and talking to each other. Have their hero costumes on. Which Deku is sitting by Todoroki, and pretty much talking to her. Now, she's pretty much, not trying to make a conversation, but Deku begins to, talk to her, and Todoroki reluctantly talks to her back, and they create a little bit of conversation with each other. Now, Deku asks that is her quirk like a unique ice quirk and stuff, which she says yeah. Which Deku says he haven't thought of it much, but he think he has the same quirk, like has the same ability like her, not as a quirk but as ability. Which she says what ice, which Deku begins to forms a little bit of ice from the tip of his hands, which she's saying, "Huh, I see." Now, this is where the bus stops and they all hop off and they're heading into the building. As they're heading into the building and stuff, this is where Deku uses echolocation and he sends a like one villain, and he's pretty much Deku begins to yell and says, "This is a trap," which everybody's confused, and of course the villain comes on. It's way too late, which this is where the other hero, or you could say the other teacher, gets hurt, and the hero's about to teleport everybody out until Deku tells Todoroki to go no Edon to go get All Might, female All Might, which runs quickly and go get All Might, which everybody gets teleported. And everybody gets teleported as usual. In Razorhead, she has to fight a couple of them by herself and all that. Now she's doing that. This is where Deku begins to look where he's at and see some female shark villains saying, "Huh, look like there's a boy here, which they're pretty much saying haven't we was the first time ever seeing a boy, which she pretty much says it'd be a shame if we hurt your pretty face, which this is where Deku says, "Oh, you won't." And Deku pretty much jumps down and he steps on the ice and well, not steps on the ice, steps on the water and frees the whole water into pure ice. Now this is where he tells Mineta to jump down and while he grabs her, which she jumps and he catches her, and Froppy jumps down too. Now they pretty much this is where Deku tells Froppy and Mineta to go help out the rest while he go help out Razorhead. Now as they're going to help out the rest, this is where Deku comes in and he pretty much kicks one of the villains, sending them flying. Now Razorhead's telling Deku what's he doing here. He's supposed to be with the other students safe, which Deku's saying none of us are safe right now. We're all right now getting attacked. Now this is where Deku and Razorhead working together, pretty much beating up like half of the villains. Now this is where of course the gnome comes in and Razorhead is throwing punches and stuff at the gnome, but the gnome will pretty much grabs Razorhead and slams her down to the ground. Which this is where the gnome was about to throw another punch to pretty much gives a knockout. Which this is where Deku comes in and he rams, or should I say rams in the gnome, pretty much puncturing it and sending it flying. Now as the gnome gets set flying to the wall, Deku pretty much picks up picks up picks up well not picks up but picks up Razorhead and he begins to kiss her lips, which Razorhead starts to get healed up. Now Razorhead begins to blush a little bit and says, "Wait a minute, what? How? Why did you kiss me?" Which Deku says, "Well, to get a perfect healing, I can heal you by any way, but I just wanted to heal you the quick way." Or you could say, which Razorhead begins to blush. Now, this is where Shigaraki, she begins to get pissed off because, like I said, Deku and Shigaraki kind of had that thing, and she begins to get pissed and says, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you, Razorhead." Which Deku begins to say, "Why are you extra mad? You're the one who's trying to kill us." Which she pretty much says, "This has nothing to do with you." And she begins to charge at Razorhead until Deku catches her and pretty much tells her to calm down. And this, which she pretty much touched Deku and pretty much uses her quirk on Deku, which Deku begins to feel the pain. Feels the thing. Now Deku backs up and he realizes that his skin is falling off. Well, his arm is pretty much falling apart and stuff, and skin is breaking. This is where Deku rips off his arm. He begins to rip off his arm, which Todoroki and everybody sees, and including Shigaraki. They shocked that Deku ripped off his arm. Now, his arm begins to start growing back, kind of like I said, like he has all the animal genetics. So, like all those lizards' regeneration of arms and tails and stuff, his arm begins to regenerate. Now, his other arm is pretty much moving around and stuff, and his other arm begins to die, and it begins to give life. It begins to turn into dead things, and it begins to start turning into a branch and giving life and stuff. Now, as Deku begins to grow back his other arm, he grabs the tree branch that was growing off his arm and it starts to form into a wooden sword. And he says, "All right, looks like it's time to teach y'all a lesson." Now, of course, this is where the Nomu comes back in and starts charging at Deku, and she's about to say, "Wait, no," until Deku slices the Nomu's arm off with the wooden sword, because we're gonna say the wooden sword is really sharp, and he sliced off the other arm, And this is where he chops off the Nomu's head, doing a spinning chop off the Nomu's head. Now, of course, this is where the Nomu dies, and All Might, she finally comes in, and Shigaraki says, damn it, we gotta retreat, and she pretty much retreat with a couple of villains, and that's pretty much it. Now, All Might pretty much asks if everybody's alright, and asks Razorhead if she's alright, which she pretty much, looks away, blushing, saying, yeah, she's alright. Which Deku is pretty much saying, I think I'm gonna need a rest, and begins to lay down. Or you could say, yeah, begins to lay down. Now, as Deku's laying down, he's pretty much, just going to sleep, which everybody thinks that Deku pretty much passed out, but no, he just laid down and went to sleep. Now, this is where Deku wakes up in the infirmary, which he's pretty much saying, where am I? Which Bakuyoshi asks which we're gonna say the whole class asks if he's alright, which Deku says, yeah, he is alright. Which they said to him that it looks like he lost a lot of blood, like he ripped his whole arm off. He was spitting out a lot of blood, which Deku says, he's fine. Which they all saying, thank God. Now this is where, of course, Razorhead is pretty much saying, pretty much asking everybody to leave while she talks to Deku. Now, as everybody, going, this is where Razorhead, sits beside Deku and says, thank you for, saving her. Which, this is where Deku says, that's no problem. Just doing what any one person would do. Which, this is where Razorhead leans in to kiss him on the lips, saying that she's really thankful, and begins to leave. And Deku says, cool. Now this is part 2 of what if Deku was the only male in My Hero Academia. If you like, leave a like, do all that stuff, comment. But I'm Keyshawn G. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.